Hello there, John the Bearded Vampire here. Welcome to another video. I'm going to do a bit of a music one today. Um, just a quick little kind of general talk about Evil Disco. A lot of you will not know what the hell that is. Some of you may. This is a bit of a giveaway, to be honest, this here. If you want to know more, then you can leave a comment asking and I will get back to you. One of my friends already has, and I've kind of briefly explained to him what it is, but I don't want to go into too much detail because I wanted to do this video. Evil Disco basically is the term coined by Wayne Static of Static X. Wayne Static's real name was Wayne Wells, but he changed it to Wayne Static. I don't know why, whether it's because of the band or whether he changed it and then had the band, I don't know. But Evil Disco is basically the sounds of Static X, the band, and Wayne Static, the solo artist. If I can remember how to do it, I will try and put a picture around here or here. In fact, I think I might do it here. No. Here. I'll try and do it in here. Or here. I don't know. Up here somewhere. Of Static X's logo. It's called a little X in a circle, but it's got like spikes coming out the top of it. Because it kind of represents Wayne's hairstyle. It's very kind of industrial, kind of techno-y kind of in sound, all heavy metal, but kind of techno, like industrial kind of in sound. It's the kind of thing that you dance to rather than mosh to. I'm sure most of you will all know what moshing is. Oh gosh, right there, dark patch there. Look at that dark patch there. Yeah, I'm sure most of you will know what moshing is. You'll have seen it, whether you know it because you do it or whether you know it because you've heard of it via watching stuff like Smells Like Teen Spirit videos and stuff like that, you know. Papa Roach's Last Resort, that kind of stuff. You'll all kind of be aware of moshing. But to Evil Disco, you've got more of a set kind of dance to it. It is possibly my favourite genre of heavy metal and new metal, not because of where it is, but because it's basically like one of my favourite heavy metal bands, like Wayne Static and Static X. I first heard of Static X sometime in 1998, 1999 when I was doing my A-levels. At the time I didn't know who they were. They've been out a good 5 years by then, 4 or 5 years by then. But I weren't sure who they were. I didn't actually get to listen to the music from them until I'd left sixth form and A-levels and everything. And I had a computer stroke laptop and I was doing research myself. Came across the album, which was called Wisconsin Death Trip. And bought it, listened to it, and I fell in love with it straight away. You got really great songs like I'm Stupid and Push It, kind of quite heavy, kind of beaty, dancey type tunes. It's hard to describe the actual thing. I've seen on Urban Dictionary saying that Evil Disco is the coin termed by Wayne Static. What does it mean? Only he knows. Unfortunately, he is dead. He kind of died about 4 or 5 years ago. Possibly 5 or 6, I can't remember. So, you know, it's something that I will never no one will ever really get to understand or know. I will never be able to see them live. They do play now with a guy calling himself Zero, like Xero, um, who wears like a face mask with glasses on, like glasses over the eyes that turn up into a cross in the forehead. Um, People know who he is. I don't know who he is because I don't know that band that he is from. Um, but everyone says that that's who he is. But I've not really done that much research into that. Um, but he plays it with utter respect. He completely respects Static X as a band. He completely respects Wayne Static as a musician. He's not trying to replace him. He's trying to honour him, and it really comes through when he's kind of playing live from the videos that I've seen of the concerts. But no, Static X have done like, they've got, I think it's 5 or 6 albums out. They've got Wisconsin Death Trip, which is the first one. Then they have The Machine, which had Black and White, the song Black and White, which you might have seen on MTV2, where Wayne Static and the band are like Terminators, like machines. Then they had, from that album, they did Cold, which a lot of you might recognise from the Queen of the Damned soundtrack. And because they did that with Queen of the Damned and Vampyrs, their third album, which was Shadowzone, was a concept album about vampires. And then they did Start a War. I've actually got that just here because I'm trying to MP3 it, flip it to MP3, but it's not having it. The PC is just not having it at all, which is really annoying. Then they did Cannibal, which is more heavier in beats than the rest of the stuff. Then they had Cannibal Live, which is like basically a live album of the Cannibal album. And then the Cult of Static, and that was the last album that they did as Static X. They had a big falling out. I'm not sure what the details were. I wouldn't like to second guess or kind of comment on it. But basically the band split up. They were still kind of doing tours together, but they weren't kind of like very friendly. Wayne went on to do his solo stuff, which he did with Pig Hammer album, which I love the album. I love that almost as much as I love the Static X sound itself. It's a bit different. You can tell it's solo stuff, but it's very much that kind of genre. And now Static X have reformed, I say, with this kind of Zero frontman. They found songs that Wayne Static was working on before he died, and they're releasing an album called Project Regeneration Part 1, because they found so much stuff and they've done so much new stuff themselves as a band that they're releasing the album in 2 parts. I've already pre-ordered the first part. I pre-ordered that a year or so ago, if not longer, when they first announced that they were doing it. The first single is called Hollow, and that sounds really cool. The video is quite cool. It's got like a little skeleton dude with little spikes coming out of his hair to represent Wayne, so it's quite cool. Get little video clips of him every so often as well within it. So again, like, they're trying to honour his memory. From Machine, I would say standout tunes, I say, is stuff like Structural Defect, Black and White, Cold, Machine, the actual theme, the actual tune itself, Machine. Yeah, they're all solid songs. Wisconsin Death Trip is like easily the best of their albums though, because it is just a solid playthrough of just evil disco and just dancing kind of tunes. Am I going grey? Going grey around here. Oh. So yeah, it's an awesome album. Wisconsin Death Trip is. It ends with like a really kind of like slow kind of like flake out tune called December. Um, the next lot of albums, I'll say Shadowzone. I love Shadowzone because it's got the vampire connection to it. It's got like I say, it tells the story of someone becoming a vampire, becoming under the spell of a vampire, and then realizing it's not all what it's about, and tries to do away with it and everything. So that's kind of cool. Like concept album there. Their first three albums definitely the standout albums, and Pig Hammer itself when Wayne's doing his solo stuff, that is definitely a standout album as well. Cannibal, Star War, Cult of Static, they're all solid albums, but they're not albums that I listen to on a regular basis. They've also got a Beneath Between Beyond album, which has got like rare, unreleased tracks and demos and collaborations and stuff like that, and remixes. And that's kind of a cool album. And again, I've got it just here. And again, that one just isn't wanting to rip to CD, not to the PC. I will figure out why it's not doing it, because I really want to get the track on there called Crash, that they did with Mephisto Odyssey, from Batman Beyond. The cartoon Batman Beyond, or Batman of the Future, or whatever it's called. It's a really cool track, and it's on that CD, and I can't get to it because it just won't rip. So what I'm gonna have to do is go through Static X's stuff and do it that way on YouTube, I think. Do it the long-winded way. So yeah, they're all kind of really cool kind of albums. I would definitely recommend getting some. I will put possibly links to them from the UK website anyway, from the UK Amazon. It'll take you to your own country's Amazon if you've got it in your country or whatever, for some of the albums that I like by Wayne and Static X. If I can leave a bit of information in the description, I will, about each album, when it was released and so on. I probably won't do that, to be honest. So come to think of it, too much hard work. But yeah, I will try and get some links in there, and for you to check out the albums, possibly some YouTube videos linked in there as well. I really do suggest you check out, if you're into heavy metal and you haven't heard of Static X and Wayne Static, I really do suggest you get into it. If you're not into heavy metal, I would suggest give it a try out anyway, because like I say, it's not heavy metal. It's kind of industrially, kind of techno, kind of dancey tunes. So it's not like Sepultura or Soulfly or Machine Head or anything like that. It's much more kind of trendy. It's almost a trendy version of music, of heavy metal, which is kind of weird. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Hope you've enjoyed this little chat about like my favourite thing. Rest in peace, Wayne. You're a god. Goodbye.